Obejrzeliśmy właśnie polską premierę filmu Pojedynek na głosy, którego reżyserem jest Peter Cataneo i bardzo się cieszę, że możemy teraz w naszym studiu umiejscowionym na zamku w Kazimierzu Dolnym powitać naszych gości, a są z nami reżyser tego filmu Peter Cataneo i Emma Lons, odtwarzająca jedną z głównych ról. Hello!
Hi.
Welcome to Kazimierz Dolny. This is so nice to see you.
You too.
Thanks for having us. And it's beautiful there.
Yeah, the place is very beautiful, and I hope one day you are going to visit the festival here in Kazimierz Dolny. As you can see, we were talking before the connection, and Peter, you thought that this is just a photo on the background, yeah?
Emma was wondering if it was a backdrop, but no, it looks very beautiful.
Yeah, this is Vistula River, and here in Kazimierz Dolny, in beautiful village, we have our festival. I can show you also some other pictures from this place, just to make your appetite even bigger. Here you can see the castle, and the studio is here, and in the castle we have the center of our festival. Down there is a village, and unfortunately, because of coronavirus, our festival is going online this year. But usually we have here a lot of lovers of cinema. They join us, they are with us in Kazimierz Dolny, and we of course hope that next year we will go back to a normal situation. How is the situation in England right now?
Slowly coming back to life, I suppose, isn't it? But
Comes, and then it unlocks and then it closes again here and there because it's difficult. So
for the
slowly
arts,
it feels
it's not brilliant.
Yeah, it feels like it's taking a long time.
Peter, after many years of spectacular success of your film, The Full Monty, finally you found a script that satisfied you, I can say. So what was in this script written by two women, what attracted you in this story?
Well, first of all, I haven't just been lying in bed since 1997. I've made 4 movies and about 5 TV series. But this particular film, I think it was the combination of a world that I didn't know anything about and that hadn't really been seen on cinema before, of the life back in a military base when a war is going on, felt interesting and new. And I think the fact that it had the potential to be a very musically based story and the emotion we could get from the music as a filmmaker was just really appealing.
Emma, and there was an audition for the role. How was it? Because here we have an army of women.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that, it was probably very interesting kind of auditions.
Well, the first round of it was just, we had to send in a tape of us doing a song. And that was quite simple, just standing in my house, singing something and throwing it out there and hoping that you enjoyed it, Peter. And then it was, just individual auditions, really. Just went back and read for the role of Annie. I didn't meet anybody else, I don't think, that day. Mm-hmm. In fact, no, I think I might have seen Amy James Kelly come out, though. When I was going in, Amy was in it and played Sarah.
Yeah, it was interesting. The casting director was the person who kept saying we should do singing as the first audition. And I personally wasn't really into that idea. And suddenly she showed me all these people singing. And I was like, I don't really care. They don't need to be really good singers apart from the girl who plays Jess. And but it was a really good way to see someone's personality in a very raw kind of way. That's what I think was the great learning journey of the film, is when someone's standing there and they're singing, they can't really hide. Yeah. And you get a great insight into who they are. So it was actually really good. It was a really good thing. I might do it next time, even in a film where there's no singing in the actual film.
Yeah.
And was it easy?
We all discussed what songs we'd chosen as well when we all got the jobs. What did you sing? What did you sing? It was quite good.
Mm-hmm. Peter, was it easy to direct such an army of women?
It was actually. They were really fun. I mean, there was a really good atmosphere on set, and everyone was very collaborative and very behind the project. And it wasn't an easy film to make with all the songs and not enough time as always, and quite technical actually with this. Though I tried to make the singing scenes seem very natural, it was quite technical to make them feel that natural. So they're very patient. And no, the only problem I had was just they wouldn't stop talking and laughing and joking together. That was the only. It was quite hard to talk between takes because the cast would be having so much fun.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah,
we didn't stop talking.
But watching your rehearsals, the choir rehearsals, I thought, was it easy to sing so badly? At the beginning, of course.
Yeah. Peter just kept on saying, be worse, didn't you? And we were brought in for a few days of like rehearsing the music, but actually Peter didn't want us to over rehearse. So we kind of kept stopping just as we were almost learning a song. He'd just stop and say, enough now, let's not go any further with this. So a lot of what you see is us actually trying to navigate learning the music for the first time. So it gives it that real and raw quality, I think.
Mm-hmm. But this was very interesting in this story. This is the fact that we have here this army base situated somewhere in the north of England. And usually we follow soldiers when we see such a base, military base. And here we have in the contrary, we stay there and we are observing women, wives, partners staying there alone, waiting for their husbands. And so many different female characters are in this company. Peter, please tell me, what was for you most important in this diversity of characters, women's characters that we have in this film?
Well, yeah, first of all, going back, that's what the moment I really was interested in the film is the moment when all the buses go off. They go off after about 10 minutes into the film. The soldiers all get on the buses and the buses go off and the camera cranes up and you expect to then cut to the bus and all the soldiers. And then it just cuts to the next empty base and the next morning. And it's like, well, what do we do now? So I was very interested in that. But in terms of the diversity of the characters, it was just to create an ensemble that had an energy, a kinetic energy between them and that would have lots of different types. And actually we kind of, it was partly the casting dictated the characters in some ways. It was, people would come in and it would be like, oh, they could be this person or they could be that person. And actually we were writing the script right up to the end. So even while we were casting, I was sending casting takes off to the writers and they were like running with it and adapting the characterization to the cast, because it was really a case of just finding really interesting casts. And then I just really determined as well that in an ensemble like that each person is absolutely distinctive and pops out as a kind of clearly different person. I mean, actually, when you see a real military-wise choir, that maybe sounds a bit dodgy, but they're all quite similar, really, actually, when you see a real military-wise choir. But I was quite keen to really have very distinctive characters that once you've seen them once, you're like, oh, that one, I know that one. And it's a credit to the cast that they really do pop, and a credit to the wardrobe department and makeup department. They all had a very distinctive look and that they're all immediately really likable, identifiable, different characters.
Mm-hmm. And Emma, please tell me what was for you most important while creating your character.
I don't know how to answer that, to be honest. I kind of don't. That sounds bad, doesn't it? But I don't really have a process.
Okay.
I just kind of, I suppose when I read a script, I can just see I can just imagine the person, but I don't have a way in. I don't know. I just try to do it instinctively, I suppose. But Peter let us like find so much on the floor and use a lot of our own dynamic and the relationships we actually had. And he really allowed us to play with that, to bring the joy and the bonding out. So it just felt quite real and natural. It didn't feel like I was having to reach, if you see what I mean. That makes sense.
Okay, and the film is nice because we are laughing and we are crying in the same time. There is this very nice connection between comedy and drama that you achieved with this Military Wives. So I imagine that it was your aim, of course, but it was also there was a trap to be in a certain sense sentimental in the story, but you were able to avoid it, Peter. Please.
Well, that's it. You said it. You said I'm going to retire now. Thanks. That was well said. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do. Yes, it was. Well, there was always going to be two. That was the challenge, really, with making this film, and something that was really appealing was, if it was too fun, it would seem a lie, really, to what it's like to be in the military. But if it was relentlessly full of despair, it would also be not very entertaining, but also not true, because when I met a lot of the military wives, they just kept saying, please don't portray us as these dour, downtrodden people who never have fun. It's like it's tough, but we have a lot of laughs, and it's being in a choir, but before choirs even, it would be just like getting together and laughing. So I just try to reflect the personalities in life, you know. Maybe it's, I don't know if it's a British thing, certain cultures, we had a Polish DOP, he could certainly, when we were like running over and it's like we're being rained on, and it looks like everything's disaster, he'd come out with a good joke, you know, just when you, we had some real laughs in the darkest parts of our shoot. So, you know, I think every humanity is like, and the good cultures, they laugh when things are tough, and that's what I wanted to reflect.
For many viewers, this film, this is a proof that singing, this is a therapy. It's a kind of therapy. And some of viewers that were in a press screening, that participated in press screening of Military Wives, they said that after watching the movie, they just wanted to sing. So that's great. I think that's very beautiful.
Yeah. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That makes me feel really happy that they wanted to sing when they came out.
Is it true that in UK there are many such choirs, military wives choirs?
Well, there is now. I mean, I think that it was interesting actually after the film came out and during the beginning of the pandemic, music was the thing that the first thing we saw was all these people in Italy across the balconies, and then there was nurses in England and in Spain, and they turned to music and singing straight away. Now, even now during lockdown, there's been lots of like NHS nurses, online choirs, and so yeah, I think it is very therapeutic thing to do. You know, I think, and I learned a lot about it. I'm still not in the choir, I've got to say, but making a movie is kind of a bit like running a choir in a way. But but there's definitely I mean, I talk to a lot of people who run choirs or in choirs, and there's the physiological side of it, which is the breathing. You know, firstly, if you're feeling anxious and panicked, is like to control your breathing, and of course, singing is an instant way to do that. You're taken out of your problems because it's hard, so you're concentrating on the song and what you're doing, so you have to forget everything, and then you're doing it with a group of people, so you have the camaraderie, and you have being in a team. You know, I think I can see it ticks virtually every box for mental health, well-being, basically.
And this fact of great women's solidarity, which we have in this movie, this is also very nice because it is just to remind us that we can create something much bigger than we are ourselves when we are in a group, when we are in when we are together. So this is also a very nice effect after watching this movie, and especially these days when we are talking about the power of women, such a solidarity that is in this film, in your film, Peter. This is something which is very encouraging.
Good.
Good.
Well, I'm quite envious of women. Like, I don't know, personally, I look around my family and my circle of friends, I don't think that women get so much out of their friendships, you know, like it's like for most of my female friends, their like group of friends is an absolute lifeline for them. And men tend to like compete a bit more with their mates, and it's like, you know, they need their friends, but it's not the same as that power of like a female group of friends. It's quite a phenomenal thing, and so I wanted to reflect that in the film, and I didn't need to really do it because they did that singing rehearsal in like day one, and they all became friends, so it just kind of happened.
Yeah, we bonded so fast.
Exactly.
It was really real, and we're still brilliant friends, and we're constantly in touch. It is true about that coming together. I think there's this, you know, sometimes people can think that a group of women together will be a nightmare and it will be all catty and jealous and everything like that. And it's the absolute opposite. We did nothing but laugh from the minute we got up in the morning till the minute we wrapped at the end of the day. We just barely laughed the way through and shared and talked, and it was really great. It was fantastic.
There is also I like this the script and the movie, because we can see this situation where woman is waiting for her partner, for her lover, and she has to wait because this is life. He is a soldier, but he could be also, I don't know, marine or other profession, which demands from one side of the couple to stay, to wait, and to be patient. This is very difficult. Well,
it's a very heightened thing in the military, families, obviously, especially when the stakes are high and the worst could quite easily and does happen. But I think there's a universal. That's why I wanted to try and capture that. I spoke to some military wives, and they were talking. I was trying to ask what it's like. They just say it's just a sense that's sitting over you all the time. And I kind of said, oh, well, even I know my wife gets really worried when I'm going off on my bicycle into town, and like she's always, every night she's like, she thinks I'm going to get hit by a bus or something. Oh. And they kind of looked at me and went, it's not really like that. It's quite a lot when your husband's in like a war zone. But there is a universal thing. We're all like, with your kids or your family or your elderly folks, whatever it is, you're worried. People are worried about each other, and they want news, and so there's a universal truth in that. It's just really amplified for military families, and they show a lot of courage to just live day by day and get through it.
I must tell you that I even didn't know that there are such a army base where women are waiting, are together and are waiting for soldiers, for their husbands. This is something that I get to know from your movie. It's kind of it's very interesting.
Yeah, but I think don't forget, of course, they're not normally everyone's there, and it's like the military families living together. But because when there's a large deployment and the whole regiment go off, then the families are just waiting. So and the kids as well. It's a really challenging.
And please tell me, why have you chosen exactly this song where they are singing and rehearsing? How was this researching?
Really fun, actually, and a little bit daunting because there's a lot of songs.
Exactly.
And Spotify, you know, it can be your friend, but it can also be kind of terrifying. It went through different incarnations, different drafts of the scripts had different songs. It was always, you know, I wanted songs that you wouldn't expect to be choir songs, and I kind of wanted songs that had a poppy or rock element to them, just to lighten up the film and make it not this kind of the expectation of like a choir film being a bit old, stuffy. You know, I wanted it to be fresh and poppy, and it really though came when we started to develop Sharon Horgan's character Lisa, and then we looked at. She showed us that photo of when she was like a new romantic, and when I was looking at the dates, and I was kind of thinking, we just started thinking, well, what would be that kind of music when she was younger? And so we came to that 80s electro pop, and then we tried out a few of them as choir songs, and they just, because they're also electronic songs, it felt like a really good big step to make them choral, and but they're also really great songs. So the fact they have the sort of karaoke, democratic, everyone loves them thing, and they're kind of, you never really hear them as choir songs, and they fit with Lisa's character. So suddenly it felt like we could find something to wrap all the songs together in this kind of 80s thing. Because I didn't want them just to be a random set of songs, you know.
It was good as well when I remember doing the Human League one, and it was quite interesting how like the younger cast members actually didn't really know it. Because they were too young. So that was quite real, you know, about them going, I don't really know this one. And
they sort of know it, but they know the
people knowing it and really getting into it. And
yeah, they knew the chorus, didn't they?
Yeah. I love that song.
But yeah.
Emma, we know that you can sing, but Peter, I wonder, are you a good singer?
No.
No?
I can't sing at all. No,
and even after creating this movie?
I mean, I can sort of accidentally sing well sometimes if I forget about it, but if I try, it just goes all wrong. And no, I drove the family mad just singing all these songs just while I'm like making a cup of tea or something, you know, in the kitchen.
And what do you sing usually, like you are making a cup of tea?
Well, the songs, when I was making the movie and in the edit, don't forget, they all finished the movie, but like 6 months later, I'm still editing the bloody song sequences, so I'm still listening to. So, yeah, I think it was the Cyndi Lauper one. Time after time, I sang and sang and sang. But
okay,
luckily they're good songs, so they're not too annoying. I've done a few dodgy like commercials with like horrible songs, and you can't stop singing, then you've got a real problem.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this movie. This is important. This is also, well, it was released before pandemia, but now it is really, it fits to this what we are living now. So probably this is another proof that artists, they have intuition and they know when a certain subject, certain project, script, story.
I knew when we were making it, I had this like feeling there'd be a massive global pandemic. I just feel it now.
Okay.
No, do you know what we thought? We all thought it would be like healing after Brexit, that it would be about after the awful time in the UK with Brexit, and it would be about, for me, it was a message to say, let's stick together, everyone. Don't start trying to split off. Try and stick together, stronger together.
Stronger together.
Choir is like a community, you know. But it has had completely by luck this second kind of level of meaning, actually, now. Especially, no one's doing things together, are they? You can't do any group activities. And hopefully now people can watch the movie and remember what it was like to be together in a gang of 25 people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stronger together, together stronger. That's true. So thank you very much, Emma.
Thank you.
Peter, thank you so much for your film.
Thank you.
Good luck. Be careful. And yeah, hope to see you
Thank
in
you.
Kazimierz Dolny next year or maybe
Next time.
Next time. Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Emma. Lovely to see you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.